Hello friends, schoolsteps.in welcomes you again. In this tutorial, we'll discuss how to create a list for the wearable devices. Let's do it. Create a new project and give the name as my wearable list. Click on next. Choose wear from here, and for the time being, let's remove phone and tablet. Click on next, and click on finish. It will create a project for you. Let's change the design time AVD to round. Now right click on the layout, which is right here. Go to new, go to XML and click on layout XML file. Let's give the name as custom list layout. Click on finish. If you remember, when we create the list using the simple Android programming, generally we use the container, and that container is list view, which is right here. Let's drag it right here on the UI and let's go to the text. So right here, if you observe, it creates a tag with the name list view. In case of wearable devices, we need to create wearable list view. So rather than saying list view, we need to create wearable list view. Let's select all and delete it, and let's create our tags with the name wearable list view. But before that, we need to create box insert layout as we did in the previous tutorial. Now inside the box insert layout, we need to define a frame layout as we did in the previous tutorial. Let's do it quickly. So this is exactly the same as we did in the previous tutorial. The only difference is that earlier the value of layout underscore box was bottom. Now we are saying left or bottom or right. I will explain this thing later. Let's keep it on hold for the time being. Now inside the frame layout, as I mentioned, we need to create a tag for the wearable list view. So we need to say Android dot support dot wearable dot view dot wearable list view, which is right here. So wearable list view, it is a container which will hold our list. Let's define some properties. Let's say ID, and let's define the ID as wearable underscore list. Let's define the layout height and width as well. Let's say match parent. Again, let's say match parent. Save it. So as I mentioned, this one is the container for our list. Now we need to define the look and feel for our list. Let's go to the layout, right click on it, go to XML and go to the layout XML file. Let's give the name as list item and click on finish. Now let's go to the source, and inside the linear layout, let's define one image view. Let's define the width as 20 dp and let's define the height as 20 dp. Let's define the margin as well. So let's keep it 16 dp. Now other than these three properties, we need to define one ID and source for the image view. Let's define the ID first. Let's say circle, and let's define the source as well, and let's say drawable and circle. Now this one is giving error because this doesn't exist. We need to create it. Let's create it first. So we need to go to drawable, which is right here. Right click on drawable, go to new and click on file. I repeat, you need to go on file, choose drawable from here and click OK. Give the file name as circle.xml and click OK. It will create a circle.xml file right under the drawable folder. Now we need to work in this folder. Let's define the XML tag, which is the standard tag. And after that, we need to define a tag with the name shape. Let's define the schema for this. And let's define the shape property. We need to say Android colon shape and let's choose oval. Now inside this tag, we need to say solid, which is right here. And let's say color, Android colon color, and let's say blue. Close this tag and save it. Now if you go to list item.xml, the error will be gone because you have already created it under the drawable folder. The next thing which we need to do is to create a standard text view. I have quickly created it. So I have given the ID as subjects. I have defined the gravity, width, margin right, height, font family, and some other properties. So this will be the look and feel of our list. Now let's go to the main activity.java. Right here, let's define two variables. One is the text view and the other one is the array of string which contains few subjects. Right here in the onCreate method, instead of calling activity_main, let's call custom list layout, which we have created right here. And let's delete this code as it will give us error at the runtime because we have changed the layout to the custom list layout. Let's delete this extra variable as well. So now right here, after the set content view, we need to create the object of variable list view. If you remember, in the custom list layout, we created the tag with the name variable list view. Now we need to create the object in the main activity.java. So right here we need to say variable list view. Just go over it, press Alt and Enter together and import it is equal to find view by ID. And let's say r.id.variable_list. We need to typecast it as well. After getting the object of variable list view, we need to set adapter on it. So we need to say variable list view dot set adapter. Let's say new adapter. Let's pass two parameters. One is the context, which is this, and the other one is the elements, which are right here. Now this one is giving us error because the class with the name adapter, it doesn't exist. We need to create it. Let's do it. Let's create a class right here. We need to say private static final class. Let's give the name as adapter and let's extend this class to variable list view dot adapter. Now this one is complaining about implementing the onBind view holder method. So let's right click here, go to generate, go to override methods and look for onBind view holder, which is right here. Click on OK. It will override the method. Now let's see further. Now it is asking us to override the getItemCount method. Let's override this as well. Click on override methods and look for getItemCount. Click OK. Now it is asking us to override onCreate view holder. Let's do this as well. It is right here. Click OK and save it. The error is gone. Let's define two variables right here. One is the elements, which is of string array type, and the other one is the context. Now right here, after defining the variables, let's define the constructor for the class adapter with the two arguments as we have mentioned right here. So we have defined a constructor and we have initialized elements as well as the context, and this error is gone. Let's create another variable. Let's say private final layout inflator, and right here inside the constructor, let's say this dot layout inflator is equal to layout inflator dot from, and right here we need to pass context. So after creating the layout inflator, we need to create another static class inside the adapter class. Let's do it. Let's give the name as item view holder and let's extend this class to variable list view dot view holder. So we need to say variable list view dot view holder. Now we need to define the constructor of this class. So let's say public item view holder and let's pass the parameter as view. Let's say item view. Go over view, press Alt and Enter together and import the class. Let's call super here. Let's define one text view here. So we need to say private text view, and right here let's initialize the text view. So we need to say text view is equal to, and right here let's say item view dot find view by id, and let's say r dot id dot subjects. So right here, the thing which you need to focus on is the find view by id method. We are not calling this method directly, rather we are calling it using the object of item view, and subjects here is referring to the text view which we have created in the list item.xml. The next thing which we need to understand is that when we create the object of new adapter right here, the first method which gets called is the onCreateViewHolder method. So we need to implement this particular method, and the static class itemViewHolder which we have created just right here, we need to create the object of this class right here. So we need to say return new itemViewHolder. Now this requires a view as a parameter. So we need to say layoutInflator dot inflate. Now layoutInflator is the one which we have created in the constructor, and we need to inflate r dot layout dot list item, and the second parameter is the null. So here list item is referring to the list item.xml, which is the UI of our list. So once we create the object of itemViewHolder, it will initialize this particular class, and the object of text view will be available right here. Now we need to use the object of text view in the onBindViewHolder method. So let's achieve it. Right here we need to say itemViewHolder is equal to viewHolder. The reason being, this viewHolder, which is the parameter for the onBindViewHolder method, this returns us the object of itemViewHolder. The next thing which we need to do is to get this text view from the itemViewHolder. So we can simply say itemViewHolder dot text view, which is referring to this particular text view object. Last but not the least, on this text view we need to set the text. So we need to say dot set text, and here we need to say elements of I. Now I here is referring to the I which we are getting from right here, which is the parameter. Now last but not the least, in the getItemCount method, rather than returning 0, we need to say elements dot length. So we have implemented all the three methods: onCreateViewHolder, getItemCount, as well as onBindViewHolder. Let's run our program now. Here is the output on the round and square AVD. You can see the list here. And further, if you observe on the round AVD, proper margin is left from the left as well as from the right. This is because of the values we have defined for the layout underscore box in the custom layout.xml. If you remove left, then in the round AVD, this left margin will be removed, and same is true with the right. You can experience it at your own by removing the left or by removing the right. Friends, with this I take your leave. Thank you so much. Please like our page on facebook.com/letsandroid. If you have any query, do write us at info@schoolsteps.in or schoolstepsin@gmail.com. Thank you.